Amber Alerts. The Alerts received tight end Jermaine Gresham and my 5th round pick in 2012, which was originally the Iron Dogs pick. And I received tight end Scott Chandler, who I'm going to be immediately dumping. But I also received a 5th and 11th round pick in 2012's draft.
Now, let's take a look into the future with next week's matchups.
Now, as we look to the future at Week 6, in Week 6, we'll all play the remaining team in your division who you have not played yet. And in the game of the week, for the 4th time in a row, the number 1 power-ranked 4-1, division-leading, co-leading Amber Alerts in a surprisingly huge divisional matchup against the much better-looking older brother, my 4-1 Riverdale Scoopers. Now, based on the standings, the top 2 teams in the league are facing off against each other in this matchup. The Alerts have the number 1 rushing attack, the number 2 passing attack, and they own the Scoopers all-time with a 10-4 record. But little does Coach Johnny C know that I have something that he doesn't have on his side this year. Destiny. Bitch. Another intriguing matchup is the 3-2 Handy Quacks versus the Iron Dogs, which are 0-5. Now, you're probably asking yourself, Commissioner Scooper, what the fuck makes this matchup intriguing? Handy Quacks is obviously going to wipe his ass with the Guards. Well, I have the answer for you, my friends. The last team these two teams matched up was the Dynasty Bowl in Dynasty Bowl 7, when Palucha made Guard his bitch. Yes, the Guards have the worst defense in the league, okay? I'm aware of that. But if ever there was a time for the Guards to get their heads out of their goddamn asses and get their first victory to avenge the Dynasty Bowl loss, this would be the time. The next matchup are the 3-2 Heritage Park Hunters versus the 3-2 Yellow Peril. Now, both coaches don't know each other. Hell, they've never even met each other. But Coach Stacy knows that he will have to slow down Peril's top-ranked receivers if he plans on winning his 4th straight game. This is a pretty big matchup for these two franchises for this season. Now, as we switch over looking at the South Riverdale Division matchups, first matchup that I look at here are the 2-3 Negroes versus the 3-2 Hong Kong Cavs. Now, Negroes has the number 1 passing attack in the Dynasty, and Hong Kong is looking to rebound after that tough loss last week. There'll be more to come on this matchup later in the podcast. The next matchup, the 0-5 Rockdale Senators versus the 2-3 Soglo. This looks to be what Soglo needs to get back to the winning ways, really just what the doctor ordered. But you never know what can happen. Next lastly is the 3-2 Brutal Deluxe versus the 3-2 Bubba Gump Shrimp. Both coming off losses. This could be a key game for both teams. Brutal has the weakest passing offense in the league, and Coach Bub has the toughest schedule so far. Bub will need this win if he wants to stay on top of the Southern Riverdale Division. Coach of the 3-2 Hong Kong Cavaliers, Coach Matt Whiffen. Coach, I'm filled with piss and glee that you've made the time to join us today. Thank you.
Oh, no, the pleasure's all mine. I'm very happy to be on this program.
Excellent. Well, Coach, after a quarter of the season's complete, your Hong Kong Cavaliers sit at 3-2 and in a 3-way tie at the top of the South Riverdale Division. You came into the season as the favorite to win this whole goddamn thing. Right now, are you happy with where your team is?
Yeah, I would use the word happy. I'm not ecstatic, but at 3-2, the way this league is going, it's anybody's for the taking. And, I'm not doing bad, but I'm not doing great. But you could say that for most teams, I'm just happy to be above Brandon at the moment, points-wise. So technically I'm second in South Riverdale. division, and I couldn't be happier right now.
Okay, good. You are currently technically in second, although in a 3-way tie in the South, but a lot of season left. Now, last week you suffered a very tough loss. I know you probably don't want to talk about it, but we have to talk about the hard things here. You suffered a loss to your hated, bitter rival, Coach Johnny C's Amber Alerts, and during the pregame warm-ups, looked like yourself and Coach John got into a little scuffle there. Had to be broken up by Ed Hockley. Rumors are swirling around that the fight broke loose due to the two of you getting into a heated argument regarding Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Is this rumor true?
I'll get to that rumor in a second. I just want to say that it was a classless win from a classless organization last weekend. I can't say there was cheating involved, but job at best for 88 yards at the end. I mean, I'm going to look at this in the season. I know that there's nothing that can be, happen from then, but he's just a filthy person. You put the poll up, wishing me in an unmarked grave. I mean, I think I could speak for everyone. We know at least one person in our lives that was buried in an unmarked grave, and it's just classless. Well, regarding the Phantom Menace, yeah, a little bit. It's not really an argument when one person is right and the other person is wrong.
Well, Coach, I don't know anything about cheating at all, but very, very strong words, and I'm sure, you never know. You guys may see each other again down the line.
If I do see him, I will physically harm him.
Okay. And Ed Hockley isn't always there to save the day, so that'll be interesting.
It's okay. I mean, he's lucky that Ed Hockley was there, because there's nothing you can do to Ed Hockley. He's too much of a man.
He is a man, a sexy man at that. Now this week you've got a game against the explosive 2-3 Negroes. Speaking of Negroes, it's kind of hard to say that name at the lunch table. We seem to say that a lot. We get a lot of snickers and looks, but nonetheless, the point spread was just released, and you're a 3-point underdog. I think that's pretty much given the fact that you've got a bit of a short-handed roster this week with guys like Chris Johnson and Dwayne Bowe having byes. What do you think you need to do to right the ship this week and get a victory against Negroes?
Yeah. Well, I mean, talk about opposite of Alerts. I mean, Negroes is a classy organization. I have nothing but respect for Phil and his team. I really am concerned. Like you said, the bye weeks, it's taken a toll on me. I mean, Mendenhall, we don't even know if he's going to be playing. I got my doctors on him 24/7. We're going to put him in. We're going to see how he does. But yeah, I definitely am concerned. But I mean, we got some point makers. We got Romo still playing. I think he's going to do well against the Patriots D, unfortunately. But I'm banking on that to kind of overcome Aaron Rodgers and his gunslinging.
We will see. Next up, Coach, we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a letter from a fan of yours that wrote into the Dynasty mailbag. So let's go ahead and open up that.
It's time to open up
the Dynasty mailbag.
Steve DeBerg from Tampa Bay, Florida writes in, and I quote, Coach Whiffen, I'm glad to see your team is competitive so far. Your first 2 seasons in the Dynasty sucked, finishing in 10th and 11th place, scoring only 82 points per game and having a league-low .371 winning percentage. What would you say to your critics who think that your players are just too young and inexperienced to have a legit shot at the title this year?
It was always a 3-year plan coming into the league. I knew it. I had helped a few people as a consultant before I came into the league. I knew what I was getting into, and I let my fan base know that too. We're not young anymore. We're experienced. We're ready to go. We know the league. We know the teams, and we're gearing to win.
I like it.